Okay, perfect. So hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. So as I explained, the goal of today is to present you the platforms from the beginning to let you understand how it works through a use case, which is the assessment of work. So we will see how the students can submit a work to the platform and then assess and give feedback to the users. Just to remind you, we organized a webinar every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. in French and 2 p.m. in English. This webinar will last 30 minutes and will be recorded. And if you have questions, you will be able to ask me at the end directly. Okay, so first I will introduce myself. So my name is Jean, and at ChallengeMe, I'm in charge of supporting the users in the platform. So it can be on technical questions. If you don't know how to perform an action, I can help you. And if you have also pedagogical questions on how you can integrate the peer review in your course, I can also help you. So regarding the company, we are a peer review solution. So we provide an environment allowing to the students to assess and to give feedback to each others. We really focus on supporting the users in the use on the platform. So you will never be alone with the tool. We exist since 2015, and we work with lots of business schools, engineering schools, and universities, mainly in France, but we'll also work with schools from Switzerland and Canada. And we are fully integrated to the main learning management system of the market. So Moodle, Brightspace, Blackboard, Chamilo, etc., using the LTI standard. Okay, so now let's see the different approaches of the peer review that we will distinguish in ChallengeMe. So here you can see the assessment of work and the assessment of group members. So today we will focus on the assessment of work, but I present you this slide just to let you know that you can have also other use cases. So regarding the assessment of work, the idea is to allow the student to submit a work to the platform and then to assess and to give feedback to the others. It will let the students to put in perspective the work they have to assess with their own work. They will be able also to have the different approaches of their teammates to improve their technical skills because they have to assess a work. The other approach is the assessment of group members. So here we will more focus on the soft skills because we won't ask the student to submit the work, but their teammates directly following group work. So they will be able to assess their teammates based on behavioral criteria. It can be communication within the group. It can be initiative taking, self-management, etc. So we have a criterion base you can pick criterion from. And the idea here is to prepare the student to the professional world by understanding how to give an efficient feedback and how to receive an efficient feedback as well. It will also allow the teachers to identify what we call the free riders, which are the students that won't be really involved in the group work. So if you're interested in this approach, you can reach our next webinar on the next Tuesday. Okay, so regarding the assessment of work, we can have different objectives when we want to run this kind of activity. So here I have listed 3 use cases, but you can have more, just to let you understand that you can use the peer review in different way. So the first one is to help the students to progress through feedback. So we say peer assessment, but lots of activity are launched just to allow the students to give a feedback to each other. So the idea is to allow the students to find the work of others, to give a feedback, to progress to the feedback they will receive, because they will receive 3, 4 different feedback from different people, so formulated in different way. So you can use peer review to allow the student to assimilate notions while giving feedback. You can also use a peer assessment to evaluate and to provide feedback to a large number of students. You and to because with the ChallengeMe, each student, even if you have 100 or 1,000 students, the work will allow students to assess and to give feedback to 3, 4 other students, and it will allow you to have all the students receiving personalized feedback on their work rather than having a standard correction, for example. And you can also use the peer review to allow the student to assess oral presentations. It will keep students' attention because usually when you have oral presentation, you can have a student that are listening and the others to wait and maybe ask questions at the end. The idea here is to engage the students and to let the students assess the oral presentation to be sure that they will focus on this presentation and to assimilate as many concepts as possible. These are just 3 examples, but you can also use peer review in lots of different ways. If you're interested, I can send you a specific presentation with all the use cases we have. So here I will explain you what we call a challenge. So a challenge for us, it's a peer review activity. So at ChallengeMe, you can create a challenge, and in the challenge you can add the different phases. So different phases, you will be able to select the phases you want to add on your challenge, depending of your pedagogical scenario. So here we have the work submission phase in green. So here, during this phase, the students will be able to submit a work to the platform based on instruction defined by the teacher. You have the assessment of work. So here, the students will have to assess the work of others. So we will use it in our example just after. After, you have the assessment of group members. So here, the students have to assess their teammates with whom they have collaborated on the group work. We won't use it in today, but the next Tuesday, yes. We have the feedback assessment. So here the students will be able to indicate if they found the feedback they received relevant or not. And we have a result phase to calculate a score and to present the results to the participant. And with these phases, you can order them following as you want. So it can be one after one. It can be in parallel, depending of the format you want to create. So here I have 3 examples. So the example we'll see today is the example number 2, because in the example number 2, we have a submission phase, a work assessment phase, and a result phase. If I want to allow the student to assess their estimates, I would use the example 1. And I can also create a specific challenge with, for example, first submission phase, which will be assessed by a students during the work assessment phase. In parallel, I can also launch a teammate assessment phase. Then I can also have a second submission phase to have an improved version of the work. And this improved version could be, for example, assessed by teachers. So in the second work assessment phase. And then I have a result phase to present the result to the student. So this is just to let you understand how the phases work and how you can order them. So just to be clear, I will show you today the example number 2, which is a famous template used by teachers. So I will switch to the platform now. And I will first show you how you can create a challenge in the teacher side. Okay, so normally you should see my browser. So I'm in a Moodle environment, but if you use Brightspace or Blackboard, it will work in the same way. So here I will go into a course where I want to add my activity. So this one, for example, I will switch to edition mode if I'm in Moodle. and I will click on Add an activity or resource. So when you have ChallengeMe integrated, you can select ChallengeMe directly from the activity selector just here. So I will choose ChallengeMe, sorry. Here I will name my activity, and I will click on Save and Display. Okay, sorry, I just see that it's in French, and I switch to English. Okay. And then you can click on Open in New Window. So here you can choose the mode, the creation, the challenge creation mode. So you can choose the direct mode, which allow you to create your challenge from scratch and to access to all the settings available. And you have an accompanied mode allow you to fill a form, so a simplified form. Um, to let you create a challenge, and this form will be checked by our team and will be generated by our team. By this way, you're sure that the challenge you have created will be correctly set up, and you will have a validation in our site. So today I will show you the direct mode. So if you use the direct mode, you can also ask us to check your challenge if you want to be sure that everything is set up correctly, of course. So I will click on direct mode. And then I will land on this page. So here I can choose to create a challenge by adding my faces one by one, or I can choose a template. So here I will choose this category, which is the assessment of work. I can also choose the other category if I want, but for this example, I will choose this one. And here I have all the templates related to the assessment of work. So I will choose the first one to let you to show you how you can create a challenge. But if you are interested on the others template, you can just click on Discover on the other one to understand how it works with the different steps and the objectives, etc. So I will choose the submission and assessment of work. Once I click it, I can change the name of the challenge. So for example, peer review. I can edit the summary as well, so it's optional. And then I can set up the different phases. So here I have 3 phases: the submission of work, assessment of work, and results phase. Let's imagine I want to add more phase. I can just click on Add Phase, and here I have the different phase available. So the different phases I showed you at the beginning, so you can select them just here. But my template already had them for me. So I will start by setting up the submission of work phase. Once I click on it, I have the different tab here where I can define the date, so the start date and the end date. I can also allow late submission if I want. I can activate some notifications. Here I have the instructions to indicate to the student what kind of work I expect as a teacher. So it's already filled, but you can edit it if you want. We have an option tab that I won't show you this today. And I have a participant tab allowing me as a teacher to enroll the students. So to enroll the students, we have 2 options. You can choose to import directly the students and the groups from your Moodle course or Brightspace course or any other LMS. So to do it, you have to click on Enroll Teams or Enroll Individuals. It depends if you want the student to submit a work individually or in group. So let's imagine I want to enroll the students in groups. I will click on Enroll Teams. And here I can select the different teams from my LMS. So here I can select the 4 groups that I have in my Moodle course, for example, and I will click on Select. And my groups will be automatically enrolled. Let's imagine I don't use the group feature in my LMS. I can also add them with an Excel sheet. So to do it, so I will unenroll everyone just to add the users in an Excel from an Excel sheet. So I will click on the 3 vertical points just here, and I will click on import participants. And then I will be able to copy paste the data just here. So if you want to see the import format, you can just click here and to see what kind of information we expect. So we have a specific guide if you need to see it after. I will send you everything just after. And once you paste you paste the data here, you can click on check and click on import. I just already imported them, so that's why I have an error, but I will let this configuration. So by this way, you will be able to import the students from your LMS or from an Excel sheet. So once this phase is set up, you can set up the assessment of work phase. So you still have the date tab, instructions, and you have the assessment criteria. So here you can choose to pick criteria from our criteria database. So for example, ability to detach from notes, ability to synthesize the subject, accuracy of content, etc. So I choose the 3. We usually recommend between 4 and 6 criteria, but you can define the amount that you want. Each criterion will be rated from 1 to 10 stars by the students. You can also ask them to give a specific feedback to each criterion. So to do it, you just have to activate this option. So it means that I want the student to provide a feedback for this criteria especially. And you can make it mandatory if you want. You can also ask the student to submit an overall feedback. So at this moment, you will have to go to the option tab and to enable the global feedback. So by this way, the students will have to assess each criterion and to give an overall feedback to the work. So I said that each criterion will be rated from 1 to 10 stars. Today, I mean that in the next update of the platform, which will be really soon, you will be able to change the number of stars by criteria. So you can have a criteria with 5 stars and the other one with 8 and the other with 10. You can see in the description here that we indicate the different step of the criterion to indicate to students how they can rate this criterion. And with the new modality of assessment, you will be able to choose the predefined options. So at this moment, the students don't have to select an amount of points or an amount of stars. They will just click on the best description of the criteria to assess their estimate. So by this way, they won't have the impression to assess because they just click on an observable element to assess their estimates. So you will have yes the stars, the points to give, the predefined options. You can also have a checkbox if you want, just the feedback without rating. So we have lots of new modality of assessment that will be available really soon. Then you have the option tab. Here you can indicate if you want a global feedback. You can indicate the number of work to assess. So here I will let 3. It means that each student will have to assess 3 other work or 3 other groups, depending on the format of your challenge. And the platform will allocate the work to be assessed automatically to be sure that each work will receive the same amount of feedback. Then I have the participant tab. Here I can enroll the student in this phase specifically. So I can choose to reuse enrollment from phase. And that I will do because I already enrolled them. So I will indicate that I want to reuse enrollment from the submission of work phase and individually to allow the student to assess the work, but individually, not in group. So the submission of work is in group and the assessment of work will be individual. And then I have the result phase, allowing the student to finding out their results. So here I can choose the information I want to display to the student. So here I will choose the average by criterion and the feedback received. But I can also choose the other information. If I want to remove the anonymous, I can decide to show the authors of received feedback. Just because I didn't mention it, but all the interactions between the participants are anonymous. So as a student, I won't be able to know who I am assessing, and I won't be able to see who rate me. So if I want to let the students see this information, I can click on show the authors of received feedback if I want. And once everything is done, I can click on publish, and by this way, the challenge will be available for the students. I just realized that I didn't tell you that you can choose criterion from the criterion database, but if you want to edit it after, you can, of course, edit the criteria we propose directly here. And you can also create challenge from criterion from scratch. So if you want to define your own criteria grid, of course you can. So this is how you can create a challenge. So now I will show you how it works in the student side. So I will log with the student profile. Okay, and once I'm logged, I can click on a ChallengeMe activity, so this one. And here I will be redirected to this interface. So I click on another one demo that I already set up just to show you the different phases. So here I have simulation of frog phase, assessment of frog phase, two others that I won't show you today, and the result phase. So regarding the submission phase, the students have the instructions here, the group they belong to, and the field to give their work. So here I can add text, and I can also add attachments. So it can be a PDF, video, audio. It depends of the file you are expected. I can click on validate. Then I have the assessment of rock phase. So here I can see the instructions given by the teacher. I can find the 3 rocks that I have to assess. Here I have the PDF. To assess this PDF, following the different criteria just here, I can see the detail of the criterion by clicking on the information button. And then I can rate each criterion, and I can give a feedback just here. And I will do it for each of the work as allocated to me. And then I will be able to find out my score. So in the result phase, so here I can see that I received 7 out of 10. If I were enrolled to an assessment of group members phase, I can also see my score for this phase and all the phase that will generate a score. So for this example, for the challenge we created together, the students will only have the first tab, which is assessment of work. So the students will see the average by criterion for each criterion and the detail of the feedback they received. So they have a quantitative information with this chart and a qualitative information with the different feedback just here. As I said, when I explained how to create a challenge, you can choose to show only the feedback. You want to let the student just to exchange feedback. You can also choose to hide everything and to have the information only for the teachers. It depends on the challenge you want to create. I can now show you what it looks like for the teacher when you want to manage a challenge. So when the challenge is running, how you can manage it. So I'm going back to the teacher profile. Okay, and to manage a challenge, I just have to click on it, and I have to have the teacher write in the course. And then I will end to this page. So here I can see the different phases of my challenge. Um, so I can select one if I'm interested on a specific phase. Here I have a chart with the distribution of score. I can also have the average by criterion. And I have all the information of the students here. So the name, the first name, the last name, the group they belong to, if they have validated the work, how many assessments they received, the score for each of them, how many assessments they sent, etc. So if I click, if I want to see the detail for a specific student, I just have to click on it. And here I can have the average by criterion compared with the average of the class in red to see how the students perform this activity comparing with the others. And I also have the detail of the feedback received for the students. And I can, if I want, modify the assessment. I can invalidate it if needed, etc. I can also see the feedback sent by the teacher. Um, so you can manage everything like that. If you want to export all the data in an Excel sheet, you can do it by clicking on this button. So you can choose the format Excel or CSV, and you will have all the data. I mean the participation, the score received, and the detail of the feedback, the textual feedback in an Excel sheet if you want to analyze it in an Excel sheet. I'm just checking here if I have. No, I don't have. So sometimes you can see a specific button indicating to you if an assessment has been considered as overscored or underscored. So we'll check the average for the average score for work, and we'll see if a specific assessment is really far from the average. And if it's the case, we will indicate that it's considered as overscore or underscored. So it will be easier for the teacher to manage the change. And after, you can filter all the data by specific criterion just here. So you can find out directly all this filter directly on the platform. So I'm done with this presentation, but now if you have a specific question or if you want me to show you again some part because it's not really clear, do not hesitate to activate your microphone to ask me your question directly. So,
Okay, Jean, thank you. Merci. Thank you for this. This is my first time that I deal with ChallengeMe
okay.
in this mode. To me, it looks very interesting and very fruitful. But the thing is that at this point, as I explain, I would like to start with like I have created teams
Yeah.
of 5, 6 students,
Okay.
and in order to avoid free rider social laughing,
Okay.
like so they evaluate each other simply by telling that person A contributed, person B never
Yes.
showed up, and something. So if this is on the next week.
Yeah, exactly. It will
Okay.
detail this use case on next week, but it will work in the same way. So you will have to just to select another template. So I choose the assessment of work for this one, but for the next one, you can choose the assessment of group members.
So
And
it
in
was
this,
exercise number 1, right?
it was, I will show you, it was, uh, I'm going to the edition mode. So when you select here, challenge me, so test 2, save and display. So when you land here, you can click on direct mode. And when I present you the use case in this webinar, I choose assessment of work here. But for your use case, you can click on assessment of group members just here. And here you have different templates. So you can choose assessment of group members or identifying free riders. And when you will click on this template, you have a specific format allowing you to launch the challenge you want to create with the assessment of group members face, for example.
Okay, so just my last comment. Since we have 1 week time and it is fine with me and my course, in meantime, I will explore a bit and do some auto-deducting and
Of course.
ask you next week.
If you want to have a one-to-one meeting to create the challenge together, we can organize it. Yes, I didn't mention for everyone, but if you need a specific meeting to create your first challenge, of course it's possible. So you can just ask us, and we will plan a specific meeting to help you to create your first challenge together.
Okay, so good to know that. So let's see how things go. Okay,
Perfect.
but I'm definitively interested and I need that.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your feedback. Esobizu Badi, I see you have a question.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I have about 3 questions.
Yep.
First question, I think I saw when you took the participant mode, I think I saw the details of the others in the group. So I want to ask you, I think you said it's completely anonymous, unless I was mistaken. But when you take a student role, is it possible to see which other members you are going to grade or assess?
In fact, you can set it up as you want. So you can decide to display the name of the students for the assessor. So the assessor will be able to see who they have to assess. By default, it's not displayed. So by default, it's anonymous for this phase. So I mean the assessment of rock phase, it will be anonymous. Regarding the result phase, you can choose to set it up anonymously or not. So by default, it's anonymous. But if you want to display the name of the student, of the assessor in this phase, you can also do it. I think the interface you mentioned is regarding, just checking, it was during the rock submission phase where the students can see with who they have to provide a rock. So of course it won't be anonymous here because they need to know the group they belong to. So I think this is maybe you spoke about this phase. So here.
Yes, yes, over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here I have, this is the group I belong to. So I have to submit a rock with this group. Okay.
So I'm not assessing the others. I'm
No,
saying here.
No, in this phase, no, because this is the rock submission phase.
Rock submission phase.
Yeah,
okay.
but I will have to assess the others during the rock assessment phase. So here I have to assess the different rock here.
Okay, but the ones I am assessing here, are they the same that I saw previously?
No, because
the members of my group.
No, because this is my teammates, so I have to realize a rock with them. So during the second, so this is one rock for
for all
5
of them.
people.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I have to, during this phase, I have to assess the rock from other groups. If I have with 10 groups, I have to assess 3 other groups, and the automatic allocated feature won't display my own rock. So I won't have to assess my own rock. It automatically allocated to other group.
Okay, this is a group work submission then.
Yeah, in this case, but if it's individually, if it's an individual work, the students won't see this information because they have to work to work alone.
Okay. All right, but thank you for that. The second question that I had is about the data. Is the data, can we export the data to the LMS itself, the grading? Let's say we're using Moodle. Yes.
So for now, you can export the data in an Excel sheet and to re-import it in the Moodle. So we have a specific guide to explain you how you can export from ChallengeMe and to import the data in the gradebook of Moodle. In the next features, we plan to allow to import the grade from ChallengeMe to Moodle automatically. So it's not the case for now, but it will be really soon.
Okay. My last question, you did mention the the overscore and the underscore somewhere. You
yeah.
said it's automatically spotted. On which basis does that appear?
Let's imagine I received 4 assessments and the average is, I don't know, 8 out of 10. If one of the 4 assessments I received is far from 8, so let's imagine someone gave me a 2, it will be considered as underscored because it's really far from the average of the score I received. So when you have a high standard deviation, you will see it will be seen to the admission interface. So we have a specific filter I can show you to indicate to the teacher the work with a high standard deviation and the work, the assessment overscore or underscored. So I will try to show you. I don't know if I have in this activity, but if not, I will create it, no problem. Okay, so let's imagine this one. I will just validate. Okay, it's a 7 for everyone. So let's imagine I change this assessment and I will grade it really bad. Okay, it will. So now this score was 7 or 6.5 out of 10, and I change it for 3.75. Here it's indicated as undergraded because it's really far from the other one. Here I have 7, 7, 7, and here I have 3, so it's considered as undergraded. And I can filter it directly here. So here I have a filter, and I can filter all the over and undergraded. So here, this assessment that I just changed is highlighted. But I can do the same things with the high standard deviation. If I change it, just to see if I use a good term in English, high standard deviation. So I can do it the same thing. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for your questions.
Hello, I've got 2 questions.
Yep.
Okay, one question is, I noticed you needed to change the language a few times. Is everything translated, even the templates, into English?
Yeah, in fact, the template I showed you was in French with all the data in French. That's why you saw lots of things in French.
Mixed, yeah.
But you have the same thing in English. So if I think it's based on the preferred language of Moodle. So if I profile in English, you will land directly in the English interface. And when you will select your templates, it will be in English. So the instructions, the criterion, etc.
And for the students as well?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, all right. Go on, sorry.
I said that if the students want to change, they can do it here, but by default, it will be based on the preferred language.
Okay, and for groups, would it randomly assign groups? If you had a list of students, would it, so for example, you could say, make 4 groups, they would randomly assign them into groups, or we need to put them into groups before?
To create the groups, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you need to create the groups before, so you can create them directly on Moodle or in an Excel sheet. But yes, you need to have your group before.
Okay, you can't have a list of students, like for example, of 20 students, and say create 4 groups.
If I'm not wrong, it's not possible directly in line. But if you needed us to create in fact, we can do it in our side, not in your side. But we can create a group randomly if needed.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have other questions? Or is it okay for you? Okay, if you have other questions, sorry?
It's a good start.
Perfect. I guess I know this is a lot of information. So if you have other questions after, do not hesitate to send me an email. So I will send you an email with the different resources and different guides. And if you need a specific one-to-one meeting to create your challenge, or if you have any other questions, do not hesitate to reply me to this email, and I will be glad to help you to create your activities.
Maybe
Thank
just
you.
one last
Yeah.
question. Are we going to have this session recorded via mail, like you
Yes,
said?
it's I will send it to you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So I wish you all the pleasant day. Bye.
Bye.